we are going to be doing the Pocky One Chip Challenge. Oh, this is big. Oh. Okay. It. Oh, 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 I don't know what you're talking about. I am a clean content creator.
Clean, sober person. All you do is wholesome Magic the Gathering content.
I don't know what wholesome.
It's wholesome.
I'm pseudo marketable.
You are marketable. Your name's in marketing.
Here's the thing. People I hear people see my videos, like none of them hit me up. I was sitting there and some dude comes, oh, I've seen your videos, like, and he's like, oh, I do the music for one of the biggest channels on like YouTube in this like that sphere.
Yeah.
They're like, well, why the fuck isn't he hitting me up?
Because you guys don't communicate with each other because you're Magic the Gathering
but fans. Like, if you hit me up, I will say yes, as long as you can get me to where we need to be.
Yeah.
Like I had two friends that this guy's out in Portland.
Okay.
They just like launched a show on YouTube. And they went out there and like were on his show. I was like, well, fuck, I'd go.
Why don't you invite me?
Because I hinge on, like teeter on like not being like family friendly, which is what
you're not. You're not.
So like I've done 3 videos now for like their digital game on TikTok, and I play it sort of safe. But like now that they've had me on, I'm like, all right, let me just see how far I can push it.
Like, what's the furthest thing that you think you've done?
So the first one I did was like, I knew they weren't going to take because like the audio said like brandy in it. Like,
shit!
Like, it's old people alcohol, and they're like, no, we can't use it. So I sent in another one. These last ones I did where I was like fucking Knocked Loose music. Do you know Knocked Loose?
No.
They're like hardcore band.
Oh, okay.
So like they're memey on TikTok. Like Knocked Loose got real big on TikTok.
I know that the one that's like really popular on TikTok right now is Turnstile, because
Turnstile's sick.
They're a great band. Like I know they're huge through TikTok because of that. They were all dancing to Whitney Houston before they went on stage. So like they're huge on TikTok.
They are doing this weird thing where they are making hardcore music like. They want a fucking Grammy.
Yeah,
like they're making hardcore music like very marketable and like advertiser friendly. Which
how far have we come?
But they're still like hard. Like their new record has elements of like more musical stuff in it, like interludes and shit. Yeah. But when they go hard, like you're like, oh damn!
So somebody told me
this is a Grammy-winning record.
So somebody told me that they're like a Discharge album, but if they actually knew how to play their instruments correctly, it doesn't sound like 1982 recorded in somebody's basement. Like
because I didn't really know them, and then I went back and was listening to their older records, and it was like, oh, they were always like having some more musical elements in hardcore music.
They're definitely one of those like ones where they're like a metal band where they're not quite like. They're not like thrash, but
they weren't metal. It's definitely they're like hardcore punk.
Yeah, hardcore, like the hardcore distinction of like between like punk and metal, like that hardcore thing. But they have like more of the elements of like a musical inclination.
Yeah,
and like,
whereas something like Knocked Loose, Future Joe, play some Knocked Loose, do some Counting Worms.
Okay. And we're back.
So like Knocked Loose is definitely like heavier. Like they're closer to like metal, but still being like, no, it's hardcore music.
The one I shared with you was that band Messy Humans. They have that song. It's all I want to do is drink a sidewalk slam, fuck something I live with. I don't give a god.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's like punky.
Yeah, it's punk.
That's
my wheelhouse.
If there's anytime they make dog sounds, like now you're dipping into like, all right, this is
ridiculous.
This is some like disrespectful. No, what was it? Somebody said. Well, I can't remember what it was. Someone I knew was like, I think it was disrespectful. Like, just like how heavy it is. And like really? The best comment I've ever seen is like, this music makes me want to play Wii tennis without the straps on. I was like that is it. Because it's still hardcore, so like they're trying to, just fucking throwing it. So I did that in the video, and like we want to use this one. I was like, okay,
really,
sure,
okay,
push it. I want people to be like, they're making Knocked Loose TikToks for Magic the Gathering. Like,
it's 2023, man.
Damn right. That's because they discovered me.
That's it. You're goddamn right. Wait till they get a Bouncing Soul song on there, and you figure out how to incorporate them.
I'm wearing my Alpine shirt under this though.
I'm wearing my Beat Union shirt. I was supposed to have a get up for when Jake gets here, but I guess that's a good segue into it. It's 11:09 at night. Jake was supposed to be here at 10:30. So, Mark, this is my my friend Mark from college. He is a content creator on TikTok and what other platforms? Instagram and
I mean, I repost on Instagram and YouTube Reels, sometimes YouTube Shorts, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whenever I feel like it, because I have a separate YouTube show but that's another thing.
Okay.
So primarily on TikTok because I can interact better. Then if somebody leaves a really stupid comment, I can leave a video reply, which also then gets views, and then people are like, "Oh man, look at this fucking goober going off on
these
this
guys
guy.
are beefing.
These guys are the dorks are beefing.
nerd
fight. And that's the thing, since I don't give off always like that energy of like somebody who makes content based around a card game.
No, you really don't. Well, first off, what's their name on everything?
Not hashtag. Mook Dubs MTG, and if you get the MTG, it's Magic the Gathering. So I make Magic the Gathering and Magic the Gathering focused content. And if your listeners don't know Magic the Gathering, it's a card game.
It's like if you've ever seen a clam,
and all the women dried up.
I was gonna say if you've ever seen a clam trying to shut, it's like every vagina in the 50-mile radius around you will.
Listen. It's cool.
I play my stupid poker tournaments, and I tell you guys about that, and you're like, "You're such a fucking nerd." And then you told me you're at but then you told me you're at a Magic the Gathering tournament. I was like, I kind of want to see this.
I was not at a tournament. Tournament implies money.
Okay.
And chance to win something. I was at a convention.
Is it a convention?
I was at a convention where I was just there.
It's a bit unconventional.
And not making any money.
You're making content, weren't you?
I didn't even today.
Really?
I like because I've never done a convention. I've gone to one other convention. And not in like the capacity as like a creator. Like I was there as a creator.
Okay.
And I was just like super out of my element and like awkward and like I think I said to you, like as soon as I got there, the first people I saw were like a guy I've been on his stream before but I've never met in person.
Okay.
Another creator who is like always popping up. Same thing I've talked to like a couple times like in DMs about working on something. Never met in person. And then the guy who like made the format of the game. Without getting too much into that, like made this type of the game that I like to play. It was just like these are heavy hitters right here, and I am just getting out of my car, and I was just like super awkward. So
you're Ron Swanson at the woodworking convention.
Yeah, like so I was very like not about like trying to like walk around a convention with my camera up to my face, going like. Yeah, and then I'm out here in Philly, and do it. Yeah, I forgot we're on camera. Like doing that and like having this around and walking around in public like that. Because I've always said like, especially in something like Magic, because it's a game as well.
Yeah,
there's a very large like group of the community in that game who do not give a fuck about Magic the Gathering content.
Yeah, like they just care strictly about
they want to play. Their content in anything is just maybe like. Here's what's coming out in this set. Here's this deck that won however many this tournament or something like that.
Okay.
Whereas there's content like at the event where it's like people playing and like sometimes people don't want to watch that. They don't give a shit. They want to play. Or like me on TikTok making these silly little videos about whatever it is that comes into my brain. Half the time I'm making fun of like.
Well, we used you as the intro for the one just because like that was the one that you blew up on where you had the CKY playing and
that was one that did really well.
That one was very funny. I was laughing my ass off because we actually talked about like we can use this as a nice little springboard into it. But my college films because like Jake was like, oh, Mark's like really hamming it up for that. He's like being like a bad actor, and I was like, no, Mark's actually like a really good actor, but you were doing a deliberately bad job with the cookie, the chip witch or whatever.
Yeah.
But like you the way you had it, I was like, no, he's like actually really good at what he's doing right there. Like he's very aware of what's going on.
I think it's that. I might not be good, but I am usually intentional.
Yeah.
So like, all right, I'm gonna take this chip witch, smear it on my face, eat it like a total fucking goober because that's how I would have done it as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm not starring in any films anytime soon, but I do try to like not look like I'm phoning it in.
How much did you just want to have a chip witch too?
Also, it was an excuse to get a chip witch.
It's always a good excuse.
It's an ice cream shop that's like around the corner from where we live, and it's like all handmade.
Nice.
It was it's like some mocha mint. No, not mocha. It was like a mocha something chip witch.
Bougie.
It is bougie.
Welcome to BLACKTOOth.
All right, so for all the Magic the Gathering fandom that's going on right now, yeah. Magic the Gathering content on TikTok, Mook Dubs. And then on YouTube, I also have a show called Spicy Play where I make guests eat hot peppers and talk about their decks. Big dork stuff. Thank God. I tried. I also plugged my YouTube show.
Right on.
That have not been working on. I need to. I have 2 episodes that I need to do. One was I was excited to do it, and the guy, I don't want to say he steamrolled it, because the whole point of the show is like the show I do is like to have people, they run it, and I'm like producing it on the like behind.
Right.
And he's in on like the community, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do an episode," but I don't think he ever actually watched the show. So he thought it was going to be more like interview.
Oh, okay.
And he thought like, so I was telling the fans, you rudely left.
Yes.
The show is like, it's make a guest eat a hot pepper. I think that we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Eat a hot pepper and like explain their deck.
Right.
And I don't do anything. I'm in their headphones and just kind of like keep them on path. It's basically a ripoff of Hot Pepper Gaming, which is a YouTube show that did video game reviews that way.
Which is just like an analog of like Hot Ones, right? Basically, like
they came out about around the same time.
Okay.
Where Hot Ones is more of like an interview.
So this is more just like an explaining thing.
So Hot Ones is an interview where Hot Pepper Gaming was a review.
Okay.
Here's a person, a voice. It was a lot of times it was like voice actors, and other like developers, actors, and shit like that. Eat hot pepper, give review. Mm-hmm. That was it. Watch them suffer. So that's what because that show, I loved it, and then they stopped making episodes. So I kind of just lifted the idea, stole it. Whatever. They're dead. Dead channel.
Welcome to the entertainment industry.
Yeah, it's any YouTube show. It's just copying something else. So he clearly did not watch an episode because he was like, I thought it was more of like an interview. I was like, I mean, this is like, it's like the 15th episode. No. But I was like, but I'm down to do it. I'm just not prepared for this. So I now have like an hour and a half interview I have to cut up.
Okay.
It still came out good. Like he's super smart with the game. I just wasn't prepared. You know what I mean? Like when it's something like this, like you don't really go in prepared, but you have like an idea of what you're going to do. So I went in thinking one thing. I was like, I'm making a completely different show right now.
Yeah. You have like this, for example. I don't like just dip out and fucking get alcohol in the middle of the fucking
show now.
Oh, this is your show. Okay, so the BLACKTOOth podcast. You can
BLACKTOOth
podcast. Okay, so back to. All right, so Magic the Gathering.
My acting talent.
Your acting talent, Marculon. Marculon. Thought that was a pretty good one right there.
Acting talent.
I think that gave me cancer.
Sorry.
So Mark and I, we were in college together. Mark and I have actually a pretty good origin story of how we know each other.
Sure.
Mark was walking by my room one day when I was a freshman. We were living in a dorm called the Hague House. All of the Netherlands houses were named after.
Did not pick up on that until like the year afterwards.
I think I graduated by the time I figured
was like,
that out.
oh, that's a thing they were doing. I had no idea.
I was trying to figure out for years why ours was the Hague, and then it was like it turns out it's like that's what the Hague is, like a collection of it's a fucking city that's like several parts. Anyway,
this podcast is very educational.
It actually is. I keep getting yelled at because I know way too much about World War II history, and the subject of raping to death several times has come up, but in the context of World War II history.
I would hope it only comes up in the context of World War II history.
Well, sometimes just for fun, but no, I mean...
I wasn't ready for that. There it is.
And then... Yeah.
All right, I wasn't prepared.
I got buttons.
You got to prepare me for that.
Okay.
I'm holding it together right now.
All right. So, yeah, we lived in the Hague House, and when Mark was a freshman, he didn't like hanging out in the Hague House.
Like anybody in that fucking building.
You didn't like anybody.
I didn't like anybody.
So you started hanging out New Complex, which is across the street, and it took about a semester for Mark to finally get acclimated to the people in the Hague House that he was living like doors down from and whatnot. One of the people that he
I just want to say, when we say acclimated, it's like the New Jersey.
Yeah,
you just a head nod and a how you doing?
You get like maybe a non-verbal grunt if you're in a good mood.
If I'm in a good mood, yeah. Why are you talking to me?
It's like the sun's just off. Like, just leave me
It's like I just woke up.
So, Mark, we had that relationship for a long time, and then one day you walked by my room, I think you might have just heard some music playing. Or
I don't even think I did. I think I just caught your posters like out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, and you walked in, you saw that I had several, like a real big fish poster, Big D and the Kids Table poster, Bouncing Souls poster.
I want to say it might have been the Big D. I was like, oh shit, somebody else knows this band.
Yeah, and then you were like, if I'm not mistaken, you came into my room at one point dressed as Saul from fucking Pineapple Express.
I wasn't. It was just a shirt I had.
No, you just it
was just a shirt
of a shark eating a kitten.
of a kitten eaten by a shark.
But yeah,
I think you caught on to it. It was like, yeah, dude, my buddy got it for me.
Yeah, right on. We're both autistic.
Yeah, it was kind of that.
Ska,
yeah,
movie,
yeah. And then you just had that on. He was like, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
So we like just kind of go different ways and then don't talk for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
And then James, who's the membrane, the nucleus of all of.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Of everybody's friendship here. James comes to my room. He's like, "Yo, we're gonna go get lunch with Mark one of these days." And I was like, "Okay." And then he calls me. He's like, "We're getting lunch with Mark." So I go there. I sit down, and I remember I had just gotten my Subway sandwich. You guys had already been eating for a little while. I sit down, and you're like, "You were at a Stone Pony a year ago, weren't you?" And I was like, "I was."
I've been there before.
And I was like, "Yeah, I have. Well, I've seen a plethora of bands there. Which bands have you seen there?" And you're like, "Well, I live like 5 minutes away from there." And I vaguely remember you being at a show where a security guard.
I remember it being it's like were you at Big D and the Kids Table? And you're like, yeah, I saw that. And I was like, I remember that. You got choked out.
I was trying to crowd surf, and a security guard came up behind me as I was like getting on top of the people in front of me and picked me up by my throat.
It was that. It wasn't just that you were getting taken out. Kids get thrown out of that place all the time.
Yeah,
but
constantly.
It was specifically that this very large man had you held by your, like, the exact shape of the bottom of your skull. Like, hand here, hand on the back of your head, just picking you up, and you kind of having this look of like, I wasn't ready to get thrown out like this.
Yeah.
This is an absolute dominant move.
I don't know how to fight this.
I kind of feel like I can't.
Yeah. So I was promptly escorted off the premises. I snuck back in. I saw the rest of it. I think they were open.
Job.
Yeah, they were opening for fucking not pie tasters. They were opening English Pete,
which I did not stay for.
I did not stay for them either.
I didn't care.
I was throwing up in the parking lot, and I have to bleep her name, but
I didn't care about seeing that. It's like I just want to see the Big D at the Kids Table.
I listened to Mirror in the bathroom on the way home. I got everything I wanted out of that.
That's your one song.
Yeah. So we ended up figuring out like, oh shit, you go to the Pony, I go to the Pony. Hey, you've been to the Home for the holidays, I've been to the Home for the holidays. Like we just end up like shooting the shit. So then we're friends. We end up going to some parties together, and then the opportunity for all of us to live in the building the next year was presented to us, but you somehow got fucked with your housing because you had to live with that fucking kid Dennis.
No, that was the year after. No,
yeah, that was sophomore year. Yeah, sophomore year. We were in Nassau, Suffolk, and you had Dennis as a roommate for half a semester.
I was thinking of like off-campus stuff. I ended up in a different floor.
Yeah, you were one floor above us.
Same building, different floor with like some rando.
Well, some Russian kid that's parents were
which I think was my second roommate, because the first roommate I got was.
Oh yeah, you had two.
Not my fault. I didn't make them leave. He like moved in. He was like, just so you know, I'm going to be out of here in like 2 months. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, something got fucked up with like I was living off campus. Like, I'm not going to be here. I was like, okay. And then I got mono, and I just like every time that dude saw me, I was like sleeping.
Yeah.
So he probably thinks I'm a fucking junkie.
Yeah,
because his only interaction with me is sleeping every time of the day.
There was a good chunk of time where I was a lot of your like when we lived in, like I was a lot of interacting with you asleep, like vice versa.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so yeah, he like straight up was like
he never got to know you,
which is fine. Yeah. Like he probably thought I was like a drug addict,
as opposed better than Dennis, who was over socialized, because we got to know Dennis way too fucking well, and that kid was out of his fucking. Like,
that is a kid who like probably moved to the States like middle school, high school.
His parents were in the KGB or something.
So like he was like, you just like wake up and he's like on fucking Wikipedia with a 40. I caught him like just scrolling Wikipedia with a 40, and I was like once or twice, more than once. And I was like, all right.
He hit my roommate
Have fun.
He hit my roommate up at 8:00 in the morning one time for acid, and then went to class, and then came back after class, got more acid, and then was frying nutsack in your room, and you were like, "I don't want to be here right now." And came up to ours.
Yeah, I hated being in that room. Like, I don't want to even fucking sleep in this room with this kid.
He had the best piece de resistance though of anybody, because like right before he left, because he left college. Like I think he just got. I don't know if he got kicked out or if he just didn't want to.
I want to say he did one more year.
Oh, he did one more. He just dropped out for
probably.
Yeah, I don't know. But
frying his brain on Wikipedia in 40s.
Yeah, well, he drink enough old English.
It's American drink.
Acid. That is. I mean, over in Russia, one of the best alcoholic beverages I had that was from Russia while I was in Europe was it was Red Bull brewed with beer. It sounds fucking gross, but it's actually really tasty.
It sounds sticky.
It's very sticky, but it actually gets you good. It's like real Four Loko, like kind of good.
Not selling it.
Yeah, I know, but
Can safely say never had a Four Loko.
We had so
and that
much
was when it was like
real.
When it was like different Four Loko than it is now. Like kids were like fucking dying from them.
Is that bar we were at too? The Arc with the pizzas.
Oh, yes.
Shut that door, yeah, roll. Shut that thing the fuck
okay.
up. All right. So we already introed Mark.
Sorry, I'm late.
Jake's naturally late as always, but we still love him.
I don't normally comment on stuff like this because my house is a mess, but I love your pile of toilet paper empty rolls next to the toilet. Like you just switch.
I did notice that I went into the bathroom and your toilet roll was empty, but not you had a roll.
There's like 4 underneath.
Yeah,
there's just like empty shells on the ground next to it.
Part of me was like, do I change this for you?
Can you tell that I don't live with a woman in this house?
There's toilet paper there. There's just a bunch of empty shells on the floor,
and the toilet bowls still look horrific.
Dude, those are new toilets. It's the water. I had to get fucking water purifying things in there, and I put a new one in the bowl or the back of the toilet, like the tank, and it just hasn't kicked in yet. You can move that
Word.
base a little bit forward
because they all look
they look nasty,
scary.
Well, it's because the fucking water.
It's Tuckahoe water.
Yeah, it's that Tuckahoe water. You know that power plant that's over there that you always love commenting on?
I mean, it is there.
It's lovely. They're getting rid of it slowly.
That's what causes the water problem?
No.
I thought it was just like nasty swamp water.
Disgusting swamp water. Yeah, we live in.
It turns my toilet orange, and it's a pretty new bowl too.
Well, your water had that like onion smell.
Oh, dude, the first 2 months in our rental smelled like fucking eggs, and like they'd be like, "We called a plumber."
Like, we called him. What else do you want us to do?
Like the guy came out like 5 times, and then this like $100 piece on Amazon ended up fixing it. Like I like looked it up on YouTube and like it fixed it, but they spent thousands on this plumber who was just like
looked at it. He's like, yeah, that's not it.
He's like, I'm gonna put this industrial filter system in for $5,000. It just didn't work. I was like, dude, my house still smells like fucking eggs.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, kid.
Yeah, literally, they were like, well, they said like the water's safe to drink and bathe in.
That's the problem.
So they were like, sorry it smells, but
you can drink it.
Like, you paid your rent in advance, so fuck you.
Start getting extra jugs of water and just take showers that way.
It's resolved now, but the first 2 months were a fucking nightmare. Like they would just be like, well, run the water for 20 minutes before you shower, because like if you drain the tank, it would kind of resolve it temporarily.
Turn
like,
all showers into like
that's fucking totally.
Yeah, I have to wake up extra early just to get the water running.
Just to make the house smell like eggs.
So the house doesn't smell.
You need to like hire someone to come over like a dog walker, just turn on all your fucking faucets in the morning.
Oh my god,
that's so fucking stupid.
Have a Google integrated house.
This fucking window behind our couch leaks, so there's just like this big, wet, soppy, fucking soggy spot. Nice. And they looked at it and they're like, yeah, we don't know. And I'm like, you don't know what? Like that the window's clearly leaking.
Like from the frame?
Yeah, like from the inside, the next to the window frame in the corner, it must just be leaking on like the siding or something, or the window itself. It's an old house, so like
okay.
There's also like if you walk up to the driveway and then look directly left, you can see a hole directly into like not the attic, but it's like where the fucking floor joist for the attic and like the pitch of the house meet. There's just like a hole. And
there's all these like ghetto additions.
Yeah, like
someone bought this years ago and like turned the garage into a bedroom and just like totally jig rigged the whole thing.
Like we're gonna buy this shitty house, try to make it a nicer house, but we don't know what we're doing.
No, not one bit.
And then realize like as they get into it, it's like we made a horrible mistake.
No, they were like, let's rent this out for $1,500.
Yeah, let's let somebody else do it. Yeah,
it's their problem.
It's their problem now.
No, it was actually the previous owner that like totally fucked everything.
That is kind of funny.
So I don't want to totally shit on my landlord.
Well,
So
no,
they're all right people,
explain the condition the house was in before, because that's like part of the charm of it. Was like,
what with the previous owner?
Yeah,
The previous tenant just like left it. I can't even explain like how fucking disgusting it was.
Tweaker pad. Like, okay. Yeah, like our house. Like
it was just fucked. And they showed it to us like that. They're like, oh, you want to take a tour of this place? And it was just like destroyed. And I was like, all right, where do we sign? Cheapest rental in Upper, dude. Fucking sign me up. My girl's like, I hate it here. I'm like, it's $1,400, dude. Like,
do you want to move?
Yeah. She's like, yes, I do.
It's a diamond in the rough. I don't know where the diamond is.
That are like $400,000. I'm like, where the mortgage on that's gonna be like $3,500 a month. Like,
and are you allowed to like fix it up?
I mean,
or do you have to still go through?
See, there's little things that I could definitely make nicer, but I don't want to fix someone else's investment when I'm only planning on being there for maybe 6 more months. So it's like, our lease ends in April, and then we're gonna. They said we can do month to month until we find a house. So I'm just gonna do that. Yeah, and it's. I'm used to like kind of dumpy rentals, but my girl fucking hates it. I'm like, this place is nice.
This is high society.
I really love it.
We have a house.
Yeah, it's not a duplex or an apartment. This is fucking.
You have a garage.
Wait, a bedroom garage.
Dude, you know how good you have it right now?
They literally converted the garage to a bedroom. Didn't insulate it. It's just cold.
So it's just cold,
and it's my kid's nursery. So it's just like in the summertime it's hot, and in the fucking wintertime it's cold. So he just sleeps in our fucking bedroom. So it's a 2-bedroom that's really like a 1-bedroom with a large storage room. Like it's like not freezer. It's not a livable room.
A walk-in, whatever temp it is outside, but hotter or colder.
We complained about that. They're like, it's the concrete floors. I'm like,
that's what it is.
That's it.
That's exactly what it is.
But
speaking of high society, so one of the fun topics that we like to bring up on the podcast is movies. Mark, you're a connoisseur of movies. I believe you've seen both of the movies that Jake wants to discuss today.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm not prepared.
Oh, no. Neither was I, but he told me that he watched both of these movies, and I was very surprised. I was pleasantly surprised at one of them, but go ahead.
I forget what the fuck they're even called.
American Hustle
and
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That one, too.
Yeah.
Wait, which one's American Hustle?
Because I always confuse that with... It's the one with Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, where they're... and what's the guy that was the FBI?
Christian Bale. Bradley Cooper is the FBI guy.
And
Christian Bale's the con man.
Yeah.
He's kind of like bald and has a comb over.
Yeah, it's like about like...
I've not seen American Hustle.
It's like a long-ass movie.
Louis C.K. plays one of the detectives or something, too.
I have seen a small bit Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I have not seen American Hustle.
I literally
It's mostly because I don't like Bradley Cooper.
I like Bradley Cooper.
He's all right. I don't hate him. I don't love him, but...
I don't like him.
I liked him in that one... What was that Philly movie where he played the guy who was like...
He's got a punchable fist. Maybe that's
Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah, that one was good.
I will say this might be why I don't like him so much. Because he's so closely tied to the Eagles.
Oh yeah. He's like the Eagles hype man, like him and Kevin Hart.
Well, I was like at the Super Bowl, and there was like, of course, fucking Bradley Cooper's narrating it. Of course, they're gonna fucking put Bradley Cooper in the box with the owner.
Well, they can't do Cosby anymore, so like.
I was just like, it's like as soon as the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, I was like, I'm gonna see Bradley Cooper's face.
He's gonna be wearing his garbage bag
at least 3 times during the course of the game.
He's better though than like Bon Jovi, because for the longest time it was Bon Jovi.
Hold on,
because he owned the soul. Like he owned the soul, so it was like he would always be the go-to guy, and it's like, God damn,
apples and oranges.
Yeah,
I didn't know what we had. Wait, the soul of what, the Eagles?
No, the soul, the indoor football team, the arena football. Exactly. But like Bon Jovi would like show up at like a Sixers game, and they would like do that where it's like 3 times. It's like Bon Jovi, like it's like fuck him. He's like from Jersey. Like
that's why I didn't know where you were going with that comparison.
Yeah, no. Just Bradley Cooper is like a nice departure from Bon Jovi being like I guess with the Eagles, it's always Deuce Staley, right? Like he's like the face of the.
Well, he's a former player. So that's like totally fine.
I think like they tried Kevin Hart for a hot second.
He's not.
He's like, well, because like, listen, he was fucking wasted at a post game interview. It's like, all right, at least he's like an average person, but also. Man, still annoying.
No. Kevin Hart is one of the funniest people because he'll do literally anything for money, and it comes from him having like a humble Philly upbringing, like where he's like, he's not Will Smith, but he knows that he's made it. And he's like, I don't want to fucking risk this at all. So I watched him do a charity poker tournament with Daniel Negreanu, and the whole time he's just sitting next to Negreanu going, I bluffed Daniel Negreanu. And it's like, I would fucking choke him the fuck.
That's the thing. Like He's okay in small doses.
Extremely small doses.
They've definitely
that's a pun there.
Scary movie in small doses.
He was fun. He was like the shit like 10, 15 years ago when he first started to pop.
I think when he was like you knew him as like that guy
stand up.
When he was that guy in other things,
yeah.
like other people were like the head, and he would just like have his little.
Is he in like 40-Year-Old Virgin? He had like a little bit part as one of the
his
office
little
workers.
bit parts are so much better than any of his like.
They've just totally oversaturated.
It's that they really
hyped him the fuck up. But God bless him because he's probably made like hundreds of millions of dollars. Like
money.
They try to do the thing with like when McDonald's has like the meal that like what it's named after something, the Travis Scott or whatever. They have one at Wawa for it's like a C4 and a hoagie and
like a C4 energy drink.
Yeah,
that sounds terrible.
It's like a mac and cheese cheesesteak or something like horrible.
Sounds so gross.
Kevin Hart. He's like literally.
He's like he doesn't even look happy in the fucking endorsement photo.
Even he knows like this is toxic.
Don't eat this. They gave me $5 million for this.
But also,
they have a warehouse full of mac and cheese they're trying to move. So yeah, it does sound actually pretty good.
If it's before 10 o'clock at night, I'd fuck that up. I would do it after 10 without the C4 because I don't need to be trying to go to bed.
I don't need to
shaking.
I need to go to bed vibrating anymore in my life.
Babe, I can't wait to go to bed. I got beta power.
Pretty sure he's a vegan now too. He owns a line of vegan restaurants. So it's like this is the Kevin Hart. It's just like
Kevin Heart Attack.
Kevin Heart of artichoke.
It's just like a piece of bread with some fucking arugula on it. Like this is the Kevin Hart lunch.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck vegans, dude. They just eat lettuce.
You were like he was like the diet. Like Jake and I like have had like weird tummy issues. Well, he had tummy issues. I just had like dietary issues. Where like me and him have had like a back and forth of like going from extremely like healthy dieting to like crash dieting to like not dieting at all.
I'm not dieting at all.
Yeah, it's like, but like we were
I had
like
a kid and I was like dieting. Dude, I'm gonna eat so many Oreos and just gain like 40 pounds in like 3 months.
This is episode 52. When we were episode like 3, we were talking about how I'm strictly keto. Like I don't eat bread. I don't eat fucking any carbs.
No sugar.
No sugar.
I literally eat ground beef.
Yeah, it's
that's
like,
it.
Now I'm like drinking and
Raw.
I had a hoagie for fucking dinner.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
I just do. It's like I eat whatever the fuck you want as long as it's like in somewhat moderation.
Yeah, moderation.
You're all right. Like does your stomach hurt while you're eating? Do you need to keep eating?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost no, but then it's like,
it depends on the hour.
I was gonna say it depends on how much pot I have and how low the peanut butter is in the jar. So I can't.
How many more Cheez-Its can I get in one more fistful?
Just one more, and then you're like, you only have like a quarter of the box left.
Yeah,
you're like,
listen, I just got a couple more.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like this is.
Those are just crumbs, and you just do like the.
I'm gonna drink this.
Drink Cheez-Its from the box.
Snort
and
Cheez-Its.
it's just all salt. Like
My mouth's so dry.
it's that instant.
Oh fuck.
Do you like the
Cheez-Its are so easy to go overboard on.
No,
Like,
goldfish.
fins and shit.
Goldfish are good. Goldfish are too, but
they're the hardest one to put down.
Cheez-Its are
Who
always.
dominates the cheese game? Like the Cheez-Its or the cheese nips? Where do you go?
Oh, cheese nips are
Did
good.
cheese nips
Cheese nips-
fall off? Because like
Cheese
they
nips
were.
are pretty good, but they're also kind of nasty. They have a weird taste to them.
They taste like bugles with cheese on them. Like,
Are they still around though?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, they are.
They are.
Yeah.
All right.
they
Shout
know
out to cheese nips.
But they know who runs the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Chester Cheeto. It's Chester Cheeto.
It's like
It's
Pepsi
cartel.
and Coke. It's like
Yeah.
Pepsi's still hanging on, but come
And
on,
then you
let's
got
be real.
you got Royal Crown over here, just fucking snorting lines of Adderall, fucking doing whatever the fuck.
Local cola.
Royal Crown,
RC Cola.
RC Cola, yeah.
I didn't know. I thought you meant Crown Royal. And
I
was
didn't know
like,
why you were being so formal and giving it its full name.
It's what it was called when I was a kid. Like they used to
I only have heard RC Cola. I
Same
didn't know
here.
it stood for something.
yeah, Royal Crown, and then their diet is Diet Right, and then Mountain Dew. It's Mountain Maize, and then Mr. Pibb. It's the same company Mr. Pibb has, but it's like all the name brand is Mr. Pibb. Everything else is just called something else.
Is
RC.
it Mountain Dew Pepsi now?
Mountain Dew is Pepsi, but like
Their version of Mountain
of it is
Dew. I got
Mountain
you.
Maize is what it's called.
If it
Yeah.
ain't Mellow Yellow, I don't want an alternative.
Mellow Yellow's pretty good.
Mellow Yellow's not bad.
Remember, was it Vault or something like that?
Yeah,
back
Vault
in the
was
day?
Wasn't that
Surge
It was
too.
an energy drink, but
Wasn't that Mountain Dew though?
I mean, it might have been an offshoot of their brand.
Because I know there was a Mountain Dew.
They have
branded.
straight up like Mountain Dew
But now
energy
they
drinks
just have
now.
Mountain.
Yeah.
I think they realized we don't need to keep making different brands. Just throw more fucking caffeine in the Mountain Dew.
You want to talk about like unfortunate branding? Casey sent me a fucking video of there was a brand of edibles in California that's just Plan B. Like it's just the Plan B package.
They do everything with weed packaging now. There was one. It was like the 9/11 pack, like R.I.P. the Fallen, and it was just like this Ziploc baggie that looked like the Twin Towers.
Yeah, like, I saw that. It's like 2 pieces of the bag.
They had like the COVID pack, and like they have all kinds of goofy packaging.
I went to there's like a dispensary up by me, and I was up there, and like it's long because it's the only one that's really in that area, and there was a guy who was just at that counter for a solid half hour talking to like the cashier about like different stuff, and I was like, why are we overcomplicating
this? Is so I hate this.
It's a fucking dispensary. Buy it and leave. Like
there's some real weed nerds out there.
It's like, but I feel like it's all just like it's just fucking self-taught. Like they're not really weed nerds. It's like
an indica blend. It's
everyone from fucking college.
Yeah, exactly. All the people that you know that like go to fucking whiskey bars and complain that they don't have it the way they saw it on YouTube. And
it's just kids that would give you like, oh, it's this, and like look at all the crystals. That's why I'm charging you an extra $10.
Yes,
and
it's
like, real Northern Lights, dude.
It's real Jack Herrera.
Yeah,
Jack Herrera himself grew this.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, yeah, I'll pay an extra $15.
What's that guy Rick Simpson or whatever? He's like, dude, this is the real Rick Simpson.
RSO, yeah,
Rick Simpson oil, man. This is the Rick Simpson made cancer. Yeah, it's like no, some guy made this in his bathtub over in fucking Camden.
I really believed in like the RSO curing cancer, and then my uncle Bucky got brain cancer, and he bought like thousands of dollars worth of the syringes of the hash oil. It's like you just eat it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it gets you high. It's like raw vegetable cannabis oil or whatever. It's like
vegetable glycerin and like fucking like plant matter.
Well, it didn't work because he's dead. So.
I was gonna say, I feel
he
like
was like, how to cure brain cancer.
Were you about to hit a button?
Yeah.
I saw you reach for it and stop.
He like twitched. He's like, all right,
I don't want to shit on Jake's
cycle.
Because I had mentally prepared myself for it.
You should have, dude. You should have. Why didn't you?
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Like I tensed up, was like, he's gonna do it. Don't laugh. Wait for them to laugh and then join in. And then you backed off, and then I just got hyperfixated.
I get upset. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, dude? I love my uncle.
Last week on the pod, I said something about he's like, you can't argue with your mom too, and I said I can't argue with dirt. And like,
I was talking about arguing with my mom, and he goes, "Yeah, I can't argue with dirt." And it took me like 5 seconds. I was like, I thought he was calling my mom like a dirtbag or something.
No, you're like, "Fuck you, bro."
I was literally like, "You calling my mom a piece of dirt or something?" And then and I realized that
it's coping via comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to.
You gotta laugh because it hurts.
I thought he was winning the fight too, because towards the end he was literally like had brain cancer, was off his fucking rocker, and he was posting like, I'm going to be selling a best-selling book on Amazon about how to cure brain cancer. And I was like, dude, he's fucking killing it.
He's feeling
and
great.
Then everyone else was like, we took his car keys. He's not allowed to drive anymore. And I was like, what?
That's not out of
He said he wanted to ride my new motorcycle. They're like, don't let him ride your motorcycle.
Don't mistake the confidence.
He was apparently he lived in like the fucking middle of nowhere and like in the fucking Pinelands, and they just fucking find him walking down the side of some back road somewhere, and he's like, I'm going to my brother's house. And you're like, dude, where are you? Yeah, that was fucked up.
Well,
at least he was happy towards the end, though. He's like, dude, I'm killing it.
It's the silver lining.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like you got to make the most of it. Like this guy that was he was a guy that worked on the movies that I knew from New Orleans, and he lived in the same trailer park I did, but I like watched him die from fucking liver cirrhosis. I only lived in that trailer park for 2 years, and the guy died like a year into me living there. But his name was Steve, and he was a really funny guy. He was like a real fucking cool guy when he wasn't like completely out of his fucking mind drunk.
when he was cool when he was on his meds.
Yeah, he turned yellow. He turned into a Simpsons character over the course of 2 weeks. And
did he quit drinking?
No, he kept drinking, but he was on blood thinners, so he just decimated his liver, and he was. Just every time I saw him, I was like, Steve, you gotta fucking tune it back on the drinking. And he's like, I'm fine.
Faggot.
Then the one day,
shotgun's a push light.
The one day,
shut up, pussy.
The one day he gets my buddy Josh, who doesn't have a driver's license, to drive Steve's truck. Steve's driver's license is revoked, so both of them shouldn't be driving. He's like, I need to go to the doctor. My friend Josh, who's a little bit more with it, doesn't drink. He goes like, okay, I will take you to the doctor, but that is all we're doing. We're going to the doctor. Starts driving. He's like, go here. They're driving around. They're on this stretch of highway, and he goes, all right, make it right here. Well, he's like, well, Steve, that's a bar. And he's like, yeah, I want to go
the
to
doctor.
He's like, I want to go there before the doctor. So they go to the bar. He's like, I'm not letting you go in. Can you show me something to confirm that there is a doctor's appointment here? Fuck you. You got me. He just left him at the bar. And Steve got home somehow. But yeah, Steve ended up falling in between the tongue of my trailer and it's like the triangle that you tow it from. You put one leg through it and one leg out of it and fell over and ended up like snapping his femur in half. And I wasn't even there, but it was on my trailer, so I'm like, well, this is going to be a
His
fucking...
femur?
Yeah, like his femur's on the trailer.
Just like dangling off.
No, his leg broke clean in half, and he passed out, and like they thought he just died. Like they were like, "Oh, Steve killed himself." Like, but he's on my trailer.
It's a weird way to do it.
Yeah, like so, but like they called the hospital or whatever. He in his head thought he was getting arrested for a DUI, so tried to fight the fucking paramedics.
It is a vehicle as well.
Yeah. This guy's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
R.I.P. Steve. Fuck you, pig. It's just some like white lady trying to take his blood pressure.
His leg is facing his leg.
His handcuffs off me.
I was at work and they sent me a picture of it. There was like 9 cops and like a paramedic that's just like holding his head like that, all staring at him. And Steve just was like, just mad. But yeah, he passed away. I also knew this other guy, Lou. Lou chopped one of his fingers off, and yeah, he was working on Jay and Silent Bob with me. And when we were working together, he worked with the circular saw and chopped his pinky tip off. Fuck. And then I saw him at the end of the show because he obviously took some time off. And I was like, "Yo, how you been, Lou?" And Lou's like, "Yeah, been better, but I can count to 9.5 real quick."
Yeah. Oh fuck. A chick I dated in high school, after school, she worked at like this tile company, and somehow her pinky got wedged between a forklift and a brick wall, and it didn't like slice her, it just like smashed her finger completely. So they had to like cut it off or whatever. So now she's just like
missing one.
Just in pictures, she's like
always doing the carrot, like trying to hide it. Where
I saw it in
it's like
person once, and I was like, oh fuck, like it's fucking
like you're hiding it is just making me look directly at it.
Yeah, it's.
And then I have a buddy who's still getting paid from a lawnmower company because I think it's these 2 fingers got ran over by a ride-on mower when he was like 10. And they sued the company.
Jesus Christ.
And they said it was like a safety issue, but it was literally like his cousin accidentally ran over his thing. And they're like, we're going to get paid from this. Like, it's just literally, he still gets like $1,000 a month till he's like 40 something.
I'm
like,
Jimmy Smith and this is Jackass.
Yeah,
we're going to try and jump a lawnmower.
Yeah, it's that era of Jackass.
We're going to jump a lawnmower off
Put your hand down. I'm just going to run over it.
It'll look like it, but the blade won't touch it, dude. You can see the gap right here.
Nicely done.
Yeah, fucking, that's a good scam.
It was a pretty good scam. It's like the Ray from Trailer Park Boys where you just got a wheelchair that you're...
Gets up and walks to his fucking trailer. The things this kid can do without a pointer finger and thumb is pretty crazy. Like he plays like PlayStation and he's like wrapping his hand around it and just like shitting on me and Madden. I'm like, how do you do this?
Like
he rolls a blunt in like 2 seconds. I'm like, what the like?
It's like get good scrub.
Yeah. Fucking riding dirt bikes with no thumb. Like
it's a skill issue. I believe that's the meme the kids say now.
He's got like
when
a claw.
People complain about Call of Duty.
Oh, what?
It's a skill issue.
I've never...
I suck at Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I'm not good. I have moments where I'm tricked into thinking I'm good because I have like a good game, and then I'm instantly reminded.
I'm just lame. I'll run around with a submachine gun, like a tack knife. I'm just like, I'm like that
I can't
annoying
do
guy.
Warzone. I'm so bad at
I'm
all
terrible.
Of that shit.
Any of those big map like Fortnite or Warzone or any of those games, I get so bored. I'm like, where the fuck are the people?
That's the thing, there's nothing going on, and then I instantly
die.
Instantly
Just
die
walked
at
around
the first interaction with somebody.
I just walked around for 10 minutes and
exactly.
This was fun.
And then I wait, like, you take like the 2 days to install the game because it's like fucking $150 or
delete everything off your Xbox to fit
I play it once and I'm like, I remember why I wasn't playing this anymore. And then you uninstall it.
I actually got really late to the game on Red Dead 2.
Red Dead's sick.
I did not like it.
You fucked up.
I was just like,
you're fucking wrong.
I wanna be hee-haw, and it's so prohibitive on the hee-haw. Like the amount.
Pretty hee-haw.
It's very hee-haw. No, I admit the hee-haw factor is through the fucking roof. It's got it in spades, but like it takes forever to get to like where you actually.
It's a lot of story.
It's like 5 fucking hours just to get to the point where you can buy and like customize guns.
It's very Sergio Leone. It's very spaghetti western.
No, Sergio Leone was immersive. He didn't have me herding fucking sheep. There's no point in a Sergio Leone film where there's 13 minutes of herding sheep. There's not.
2's good. 1 is I was gonna say 1 was better, but
One was better.
I haven't played 1 in a very long time.
I
I haven't
was gonna
played
say-
2 in a very long time.
Well, like I just got it because it was cheap, and I got it because I was like, I've never played this game. I want to give it a try.
It is a game that it's a must play.
I had a lot of fun with some of the missions, but then as soon as it turned into side missions, and it's like you got to do a lot of bullshit in that game to get to a point where you can have fun.
It's
And-
not the most egregious game where it's like side quest syndrome where you realize you've just spent 2 days doing
Side
nothing
You
after
can get lost
progressing
in
the
like
game.
GTA 5 like that, like taking
It's-
paparazzi photos.
exactly.
and
GTA
weird
5
shit.
is worth.
Yeah.
Like there's other stuff in Red Dead you can do, but you're never really need to.
Yeah, it's like the crafting of like fucking clothes and shit like that. Like people I know, like not to always go back to Cumtown, but Nick Mullen talks about like how that was his favorite activity, and there's like making boonskin hats and like
Oh, in
clothes
Red
and
Dead?
shit. Yeah, in Red Dead, and I'm like, hey, this is the most boring. Like,
I'm prone to getting sidetracked. It's like things like Elder Scrolls, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I will realize I'm spending so much time doing innocuous bullshit.
there's games where that's fun. Like DayZ, I have fun doing like the bullshit side quest, like modding my gun out in DayZ just so that it's like impractical is like fun. Like where you have like you can make your gun slam fire. So I have my gun dump an entire 30 round magazine like by accident, and it's fun. Like it's doing dumb shit like that.
I've been doing Dark Souls lately. We got back
You got into Dark. So you died. A lot of that.
A lot of it.
A lot of that.
A lot of white knuckle rage in my chair while my wife is like watching TV and I'm holding my controller, keeping the rage in as like a full grip. It's they're bullshit. It's very much like, and then you beat it and you like try not to like freak out because it's very like
It's orgasmic. I bet.
it's a little bit like because there's always a point in those games I think like you get stuck for like a day and a half on one thing.
The worst.
On just one boss, and then you finally and you're like in between. There's times where you're close, and then you die.
Yeah,
you die,
because you died.
and then you get it, and it's just this. It is a euphoric hit of.
And it's like this part of the game where it's not the end, and it's like the hardest part of the game, and then stuff after
There's
that's
so
like
much
not
more.
even that hard. But like,
There's just little guy. Yeah, so you don't.
it's like
know.
how was that guy the fucking?
How am I dying to this? And then you realize, like, people are just like, you don't need to do any of it. You can just go right past that.
Literally circumvent the entire thing.
You can just go right past it.
I got to a point in this game called Time Splitters 2 where
A classic.
do you remember the story mode on that?
No.
All right, so
I didn't really like Time Splitters.
I love that game series. I love that. Like I love the original Time Splitters, but Time Splitters 2 was the one that was like PS2, and they had like an open world computer multiplayer. So like you could play online, but you could also play multiplayer open world against bots. Love that, but the story mode fucking killed it. There's one story where if you fuck up like a quarter of the way into this one level, you have to start from the cutscene at the beginning. The cutscene at the beginning is a guy climbing a ladder underneath a chick that's wearing a skirt, and you get to see up her skirt. So I did that mission like 5
I do
times.
not miss that though in games where it was like you die and you have to sit through
A cutscene. Oh,
a cutscene again.
Metal Gear Solid, like you
And
can't
then-
that shit.
There's
You can't
no
skip
skip.
it, and then like the characters start talking, and you're like,
You like know it verbatim.
yeah, and you're like that. You're literally it's like we have to do this.
Halo 1 was like that. That was like the worst culprit was the first 2 Halo games. But Halo 1, there was like just a 15-minute cutscene before every level.
Oh,
Like, every
dude,
single
yeah.
fucking
I
level.
remember that.
Yeah, but Halo 1's pretty.
Halo
sick.
1's a
It
fucking
was the
great
fucking
game.
best.
It's excusable. It's excusable.
Halo
Halo 2 though.
I know there are people out there who are like Halo 2 stands, and I was not. Halo 1 was always.
I like both.
I like them both, but Halo.
I think I even did Halo 3, and then I kind of fell off. after that
ODST
one.
was the last one I played. That was because we had it at
we had
Nassau
that.
Suffolk.
I tried Infinite. I think that was the new one.
I didn't hear.
It has new modern. No, I'm gonna do.
All right.
I will pass that on to you. I'll fall asleep. I'm gonna.
I just don't want to be rude.
No, I gotta mitigate and have something I can control, or else I'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Infinite is a lot of like new game syndrome. Like, here's so much shit to do.
Yeah, that's the other thing too with Red Dead. It's like throwing like you're
lot of
just in the world. Like you have no fucking concept of like what's going on other than like the story. And then it's like everything is a side quest where you're at up until like so I'm just like just get me to the point where we rob the train because I know after that I can trade and then once I can start trading for things I can get money.
Sometimes
and
I
bounties.
don't mind it where it's like here's the game, have fun.
Yeah, that so
We're not holding your hand.
the last game that I had fun with doing that was I just downloaded something not too long ago and did that. I had fun with the video game not too long ago, so I'm
I'm glad you had fun with the video game not too long ago.
doesn't happen often. I'm
Listen, fact. It does not happen too often anymore.
No, it does not. No, I've been playing a lot of NHL 2020.
Literally, like that's nowadays. I rarely get to play Xbox, and when I do, I'll play NHL. I'll play like 1 or 2 games. I'm like, that was fun. And
Even
like,
if you lose, I'm like,
like 3 years ago, it's like I lived on like NHL and Call of Duty. Like every day, I'd be on Xbox.
It's every now and then. It's like maybe a game a year where I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see that, and then it's this console exclusive. Like, well, I don't have that console.
Yeah, PS5 exclusive. I was like, I'm not.
I'm out
for that.
Yeah.
Yep, don't have it.
I haven't even.
If you don't have a PC, you're a nerd.
Well, Mark does have a PC.
I do have a PC. It's out there. It's been running slow lately for like work stuff.
Do you need a graphics card? What do you need to make it run faster?
I don't know. I'm not, I have it. I don't know. I need more computer.
Just put more computer in.
I just need to put more computer in.
It's just like throw some extra computer in there.
Yeah.
Go down to the computer store and be like,
I need more computer.
It needs to, compute faster.
Yeah. Like, well, what's wrong with it, sir? I don't know. It's just not computing good enough.
I used to try to run like Counter-Strike and Day of Defeat on my mom's compact Presario. Did not work at all. And then we put like a Best Buy graphics card in it, and it like kind of worked, but it was like still lagging. So it was fucking like. It was even more of a tease because it's like I can see the potential here.
There's always that itch in me to like re-download Counter-Strike.
Dude, it's the fucking shit. I did re-download Day of Defeat because it's just World War II Counter-Strike basically, and I ran it on like my Mac Mini a few years ago, and my Mac Mini couldn't keep up with it.
Sounds like an engine starting up.
Literally, it was like fucking hot air coming out of this thing, dude. I was like, the good old days. Me lagging on Day of Defeat and smoke.
It just smells like everything that's sitting under. It's like
all the old wax that's on the computer's just melting.
You have to put it like on a cookie tray so that he can come down a little bit.
Dude, there's
or you don't have it on your lap and you don't actually feel like your leg hair
just
burning a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Never have kids.
When I had I had a Lenovo laptop that my dad had for work, and I downloaded or actually I bought it at Staples and then put Battlefield 1942 on it, and I think that the graphics card on it was so slow that it became like other people could see how bad I was lagging, so I never got a kill in that game. Yeah. Like I would just spawn in, and there would be someone there, boom, and it's like I was just done. Like every fucking time, I never had fun with it.
That guy just like shuffling across the map, like he's awkward.
Yeah, exactly. But like it was like everything was like so choppy. Like I could get into things, I would like get into like a fucking boat or a plane or something like that.
The minute someone else came in,
and then someone else would just fucking rape me. Like, you
were already dead on their end.
I could hear people with headsets too. It was like so old that you had to have like a fucking interface for your headset, like because it was like if you had like you could have headphones, but you couldn't have like a mic on it because it was just like an aux cord. So like there was people that had headsets, and they'd be like, "Who's this fucking faggot?" That's like
just getting all.
You're in type chat like I'm just trying to have fun, guys.
Yeah.
Like, no mic. Sorry.
Yeah, there's also people that are like doing like because it's Battlefield 1942, you can put like fucking hacks on through the fucking type chat. So like you're watching people become infinite ammo and like invincible.
That's
and then
just gonna come, like that's the other problem.
Yeah. Like it just teabag you to death.
All like those multiplayer games is like how rampant cheating is. Even though they like say, "Oh no, it got better." It's like
like the aimbots on Call of Duty apparently
got wall hacks.
Let me play. That's why I will always like prefer to play a game just like by myself.
Totally.
I don't have to worry about being online. I don't need to worry about my internet.
I don't need to worry about some like 15-year-old Malaysian kid.
I don't need it like being made to feel like bad about how bad I am.
I used to be like that, and then once I got into NHL online, I can't play the computer now. Like it's like I need to play. I need the shit on a real person.
I understand that like it's like that in like fighting games. It's like
fighting.
It's like if your internet isn't fast enough, it's like you are destined to lose. You shouldn't even be like there was times I was like, fighting game, I like that. I like them when it's like the computer.
Mortal Kombat online is like the fucking worst if you don't have a good internet connection.
It was like the Dragon Ball Z game. That became like a high meta fighting game. Like just how fast and like intense it is, and people are like, if your internet's not good, like you do not stand a chance.
You're fucked. Like,
and I was like, but I just want to be Goku.
I tried. I thought I
Gohan.
I just wanted
myself
over 9,000. I just want to do it. And then you just can't play. But kids that are good at that game it's ridiculous.
I thought I was a good Madden player, and then I got like Madden 19, like an older version of Madden for cheap a few years ago, and I went online and I was getting like.
But it was like Madden, like after like you had been playing.
I hadn't played Madden since like Madden 08 or something, but I was good back then. I was like, I'm pretty good at Madden.
But when it was like you in the room with somebody playing.
Yeah, like I could smoke my boy Johnny, but like I got online and it was like some 12-year-old dude. He beat me like 52 to nothing, and I was like, this sucks.
It's
like,
such a weird.
And FIFA too. FIFA online is like ridiculous. Like I could not. I never won a game online on FIFA.
Sports games players, like they're such a weird subsect of like hyper competitive, knowing all the tricks. Just
that's me on NHL though. Like at one point I was ranked like 1,000 in the world on NHL. Like I'm against actually really good people I get smoked, but like against like average people on NHL I was like, but I played the game literally like 8 hours a day, like a fucking
that's
idiot.
the thing, like people like I feel like that's such a thing that's like unique to like sports games. People get into sports games, like it's so like they sink their teeth into them.
Yeah. And I was into hockey and I was like 300 pounds. I'm like, I don't want to play anymore, but I fucking kill it on NHL.
Still lace up the old controller, you know? Dude, the fucking the people that I know that play UFC games online, they're
Which
like,
I don't understand.
Yeah,
that game is fucking busted.
It's so
I
bad,
suck
but like
at
the
UFC.
fucking super nerds are like unreal about how they
landed
serious
combos and shit.
they're like DDR nerds, like all like
it's that thing that's the best way. Like people that are like
Holy
really
fuck.
into like sports
DDR.
games are like DDR, like
Yeah.
they take it so serious and they really try to like.
It's like the same ilk though. Like they're seriously the same cut from the same cloth because they like all it is like just memorizing button mashing combinations just to the extent that you can do it slightly better than something. Like I don't know. There's no joy in that.
But I'm the Dirk.
Yes.
Dirk. I'm the dork because I want to play fucking Dark Souls and I just want to be a knight and kill a big ass dragon.
I find it funny that there was an article published not too long ago about how RuneScape ruins. Like apparently it's like
Shocked that's still a thing.
Yussel
People still play.
Yussel is like top like 50 in the world or something on OG RuneScape.
Don't people like make money on RuneScape now or
Tons. You
something?
can sell your profiles for like more than Counter-Strike profiles. Like Kylie, my one ex-girlfriend sold one of her Counter-Strike profiles for like $2,500. And I told Yussel
crazy.
that. I told Yussel that. Yussel goes,
What's the gain of having this high
it's just that
commodity profile?
they get the XP without you having to do it, so you just buy it and you're like pretty much like souped up automatically in the game. So like you're just paying more money to get all like the bells and whistles.
That's a lot of money to have.
It's
some
stupid,
XP.
but people will pay it. Like it's just.
I could see
Just to get
buying
a
like a
skin.
social media account because then you can turn around and like sell ads on it or something.
Yeah.
But to buy like a Counter-Strike fucking profile,
Yeah, just for like skins and like some weird shit.
It's
like
the same.
wild.
Like, why
Yeah.
do you cheat in Call of Duty? You're not actually better.
You're not actually good at murdering people.
You're not actually good at doing war crime.
Yeah, that's why we have the Azov division.
Like, I don't understand cheating in games because cheating to win, like listen, if it's like sports where there's money involved, but like fucking video games, people cheat and then like stream.
there might be money in
There's
that. But
there's actually wait you want to hear a weird one about poker? There's this guy named Mike Postle. There's like live streams that I watch for poker. There's like one called Hustler Casino Live that just recently had some drama on it with this chick named Roby and this guy named Garrett. But there's this one that's like a couple years in the running now with this guy named Mike Postle. Where like if you're gonna go play on stream where everybody can see you playing poker live, why would you fucking cheat? Like
there's literally probably millions of people overanalyzing your every move.
And this guy put like one of those things that you know the MLB players how they don't have the they don't see signs anymore. The pitchers have the thing in their hat where it like gives them. Yeah, so the catchers now have a thing on their pad where they hit a button and it gives you like a Morse code in your hat for the pitchers. Yeah, so
It's
they don't
weird,
they don't sign steal anymore.
I
yeah.
don't watch baseball, but the Phillies were in the World Series, so I was watching a little bit this year, and like you just see the one, was it the Astros they played? The one black dude was like, he kept there was an issue with his hat, and he kept like.
Yeah, it's got like a little. It's like a
like
thing
he couldn't
that's-
hear the signals or something. Like, what the fuck's he doing?
How insane is it to be a world-class all-star pitcher? You now need to know Morse code.
Yeah, right. Like isn't that fucking nuts? It's like.
I didn't know it was doing Morse code. I thought it would just
Well, it's
be
not
like
more-
a
I
voice,
might not- I'm
like
just saying
Alexa
it's like-
in your ear.
Yeah,
Fastball.
it's like something that's
curveball.
Yeah, but so there's this guy Mike Postle who was like wearing one of those things, and then there was a guy that was watching the stream, but he somehow had access to because the stream's on a delay because it's like gambling.
Yeah.
So he had access to the live stream as opposed to the delayed stream, and he was giving him info on like what people's hole cards were, and I'm like. If you're gonna fucking cheat, like you said, like people are gonna overanalyze this and be like, "Why are you looking at your phone so much? Why are you touching your hat when you're looking at your car?" Like shit like that. Like I don't know, what's the fucking incentive to doing that?
Well,
He could have
it's-
played that off way smoother.
Yeah, he
like
also-
if,
that
that's a
guy's
good
also-
scam. But like how?
Well, in the world of like something like gambling, where there's so much money on the line and everybody's looking because people have been caught cheating. You know, people are gonna be doing
Even the people holding the tournament probably have like cameras and shit.
But that was
how
like-
the
that was
casinos have the eye in the sky.
That was a cash game too, which they had like 9 different live cameras on the cash game, but it's the high stakes room, so there's like 50 cameras in that room, like at any given time. They should have had.
They
Like,
take him in the back and smash his fingers with hammers.
which hand do you shuffle your checks
put
with?
him in his head in a vice.
Yeah. All right. So we got 10 minutes left. Let's fucking let's get down to the brass tacks here. All right. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I thought we
That's
were
the
still.
brass
I
tacks.
thought we were still in the intro.
Oh yeah, this is the intro. In
I
action.
feel like I
All
don't
right,
have
so-
great commentary on these movies
no,
because
come on.
I watched them at like 2 a.m. while smoking a blunt.
All right,
like,
but
half
Mark and I are
asleep.
big Quentin Tarantino fan, or like I mean we're pretty well versed in Quentin Tarantino. I don't know if you're
Which
a fan,
one was
but-
Tarantino? Once Upon a Time in
Yeah,
Hollywood?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah.
I like him.
I literally watched that one because I saw a reel and it was the scene where Leo was like,
was like, yeah,
and I
We're
was like,
watching
I
FBI.
always see this. I want to watch this movie, and then like I bought it on Amazon for like $3, and it was a fun one. It
It's
was
a
kind
fun
of
one. It's not his best.
Not his best work.
I know it's one he really likes. I think it's his. I was gonna say it's his most like mature. I don't know about that. Maybe I'll take that one.
I was gonna say
I'll take that
Hateful Eight's a little bit more mature because that's like a play.
one. Yeah, but Hateful Eight's like ending is just
Oh, it's so good.
unhinged.
It's so good.
Tarantino.
It's so good.
Like
I've never seen that.
It's a
one.
wet dream. Oh, it's like so fucking fun.
it's got moments in it where it's like it's hard to be into it if you're not into like Tarantino.
If you don't know anything about him, it's like hard to watch if you're not familiar with like what
It's it's dialogue heavy and it's Tarantino dialogue, which again, if you're not for that, like if you wanted more of like I'm trying to think, if you want more like Kill Bill, which like for the Kill Bill for like the fun parts of Kill Bill,
Yeah.
like the dialogue in Kill Bill, like, but then like it's very Western. It's like a very homage to Western movies, and then just goes off the rails towards the end.
Yeah, it like goes from like Douglas Sirk to like Kill Bill, like so like anime, then like back to like almost like a fucking like Robert Frost novel or something like that, and then because like the poetic justice and everything, and then it just wraps up in like a giant bloodbath.
Yeah,
like,
so whereas like Once Upon a Time is closer to like a Pulp Fiction-y, not Pulp Fiction-y, like a Reservoir Dogs kind of.
yeah, like his roots, but like also like Tarantino. I don't know if it was like a meta thing or if it's just because he is like a guy that never went to film school. He just like worked the
Loves
movie
movies,
store
yeah.
and loves movies. Like I think that there's like definitely the elements of like old Hollywood cinema,
Oh, for
and,
sure.
and it's like done deliberately. But then I think it's done like with like an extra layer of like self reflexivity in that film, and it's like done like to a point where he's definitely making us like a love like piece, like a homage to like 60s cinema and like like kind of like late 60s LA culture.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like his interplay of like the experience is so much better than like a boogie, like in different years, but like like a Boogie
like a Boogie
Nights
Nights.
or like an LA movie where it's like not really, because like it's a movie about LA, like the whole thing, like from top to bottom. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's a movie about Los Angeles, and it's like you experience these characters' story in Los Angeles, but it's like about like a major pivotal event in Los Angeles that happened, and it's like an LA story.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a little bit of him, a little bit of like LA. I felt it was like such a nice melange of like filmmaking in general that like it ties his work together as well as filmmaking nicely.
Like as if it's his last, because I know he's talked about it being potentially his last.
Yeah.
If it is, like I get it.
Yeah,
Like I can see it being like, yeah, this is like
not going out like Kevin Smith. He's
this
not
is a
gonna
love letter to like what got you into what you do.
Yeah.
I'd be a little bummed because it's not like an over the top Tarantino movie.
It is in many ways, because like I don't know if you know this, but he apparently was like really into the Manson shit. Like, and I've had the
I like that angle of it because when it was originally, it was just like all about Leo's acting career. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on?
it's
And
kinda
then
like
like the ending where everyone just dies was like, yeah, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
And then-
which my wife was like mixed on.
Really?
Did she not like Inglourious Bastards? Like,
No, she likes it.
That was fucking awesome. I love that one.
She didn't know how she felt about it being like not being true to like the actual story.
Yeah.
Like what's the actress?
Sharon
name?
Tate.
Yeah, like to the Sharon Tate case where she. But then I think after she thought about it, like in the context of what it was, is like I like it a little bit more. She's warmed up to that. She was just big on like. I don't know, I think she thought it was like that's weird, like maybe
like, wait, didn't the hippies kill
in
the people?
story? Yeah, they
Tex Watson
Like,
and
this
Squeaky,
stops
what's
it.
her name? Fucking
they
stabbed
kill this.
Sharon
They
Tate
kill Sharon Tate.
and the other people, but yeah, like it's like one of those ones where the revisionist history, and I don't mean to use that like slantedly, but like it is revisionist.
It's revisionist,
history,
but then you're in the context of what it is. You're like, oh, this whole movie is
revisionist history.
yeah. Like when you reflect back on it.
I was blown away by Brad Pitt's dog because my dog doesn't listen for shit. And I was like, that's amazing. And then I actually found out that dog is my sister-in-law's dog's mom.
No shit,
They
really?
bought like an expensive ass pit bull from like this breeder who makes like movie dogs or whatever, and like they had told me that a while ago and I didn't even think about it, but it looks just like him, and it's like, oh fuck. And I was like, I just like mentioned it, they were on FaceTime, and I was like, that dog was like impressive or whatever, and she was like, that's Zeke's mom. And I was like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, so basically I'm related to the dog. I'm
related to Brad
famous.
Pitt. I'm Brad Pitt. Like,
I suck Brad Pitt off.
I feel like I can hit Brad Pitt up right now.
I'm gonna like, just
Hey, remember your dog in that movie from like 2013?
This wasn't that long ago. It was 2018.
I must be thinking of the other one then. American Hustle must have been 2013.
American Hustle was 2013. Because that was right around
the
when
ending
Jennifer
of that
Lawrence
one was good too.
Jennifer Lawrence was naked.
I don't think.
I
I think you're thinking of a different movie.
Joe's. Could you give us a review? Jennifer Lawrence was.
I don't
naked.
think Jennifer Lawrence.
No, she wasn't naked in the movie. That was the fappening. That was when that happened.
I don't think she was in that. I think you're thinking of a different movie.
Jennifer Lawrence was definitely in it. She's definitely in that movie.
I must be thinking of someone else, but
maybe I might be wrong. But it's like I know for.
I don't remember anyone getting naked.
She didn't get naked in that movie. The fappening. She's the chick that like all of her nudes got leaked.
I thought you were like Jennifer Lawrence got. Oh yeah, she was the guy's wife. Yeah. I was thinking of the chick from Seventh Heaven. What's her name? She was in fucking that Adam Sandler movie, Chuck and Larry. She's a chick with the tits. She like shakes them.
Chick with the tits.
What the fuck's her name?
Narrows it down.
From Seventh Heaven.
She was originally in Seventh Heaven as like a teenager, and then what the fuck's her name? Give me 1 second. Look that up, Jamie. Like Jessica Biel, I think.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This is going great.
I just have to confirm because it's not showing up.
Anyway,
that chick.
Oh,
Has
okay.
her tits half out, and I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
You got it.
Yeah, you're good. You got it. Nailed it.
Sorry.
That's fine. Hey,
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Jennifer Lawrence. I thought that was Jennifer Lawrence. I'm like, I don't think she was in this movie.
No,
dog. I don't know actors for shit. I'm like a very casual movie. I'm a new movie buff. I was not.
I don't really either.
I guess hanging around Joe or something. Like now, I'm like, I'm gonna watch a movie tonight.
I'm gonna watch a film.
No, literally.
He knew like 6 movies when we started.
Max mafia movies. Like that's like my.
He's really well versed on The Sopranos.
There'll be a time when you'll catch yourself referring to a movie as a film, and you're gonna be like, oh god,
fucking hate happening.
Oh god.
Well,
Superbad was an exquisite film.
It's such a good film. It's like my favorite film by them.
Yeah, Chuck and Larry was my favorite film.
Chuck and Larry is.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Happy Gilmore.
But hey, keep Happy Gilmore out of your mouth unless it's gonna be all nothing but praise.
Hey, look. I mean, who's the? No, what does he say to him? The price is wrong, bitch. Bob Parker.
Happy Gilmore is a good one.
That's a great movie. I like that.
Adam Sandler movies are fun.
Adam Sandler movies are great. What's the best
Adam Sandler movies are fun up to a point.
I was gonna say, what was the best recent
older ones, like the
Sandler movie that you
recent?
liked? Yeah, because I really liked The Do-Over with him and David Spade, and that one kind of like went under the radar.
Oh, if we're talking recent,
yeah, like
wasn't it he was the one where it's a basketball coach?
I've heard is good.
That was pretty. That one was good.
I've heard is very.
He's like an alcoholic basketball coach.
No,
or something?
I think he's just like a washed up.
That's Ben Affleck. Never mind.
Uncut Gems, isn't he like a gambling addict?
Yeah, Uncut Gems. I was gonna say if we're talking recent Sandler, it's Uncut Gems.
I didn't like Uncut Gems.
I only saw parts of it.
Why would
so
you only bet
a
on one single basketball game? Why?
Because he's a degenerate.
No, but he did get it. But
some of us don't bet $5 a game. You just bet your monthly.
Why are you going to bet $25,000 on one game?
Because if you win, you win $25,000.
And he had his
lucky he did give Durant the fucking gem or whatever. That's fair. But
and the movie's got Mike.
Joe bets $7 on like 4 baseball games.
It does have the Pope. Yo, you don't even know who the Pope is.
The guy who runs the Catholic Church.
Yes, the guy that runs the Catholic Church, the sports Pope. Mike Francesa.
The real Pope.
I know Mike Francesa. I follow him on Twitter.
So
Mike Francesa's on Twitter.
That's
hilarious.
Everyone, like all the
Mark worked for Mike Francesa and said he was a nice guy.
I worked at the company.
Oh, okay. No, you were Boomer and Carton when I was.
No, I was I worked at WFAN.
Okay, so
I worked for the company. I didn't work for Mike Francesa. No matter how much he might believe that.
Whose dogs did you walk? Boomers?
No,
Craig Carton, right?
I think it was Craig's. It was Craig's dog. He brought to like a golf event.
That's pretty fucking sick.
He's like, yeah, just walk my dog. And I was like, okay. It was a big dog.
Who was the one that went down? Boomer? Was it Craig? Wasn't one of them like indicted on like?
Oh yeah, Craig got busted for a ticket scam. He was doing some kind of like ticket scam, like selling fake tickets, like to like high rolling investors. Like they would buy like in on box seats or something like that. I don't remember the ins and outs, but he got busted. It was a part of it, and he's back on the radio though.
Yeah, like
he did his like year in prison, came out, they gave him a show right back because
like fuck it,
no
like,
way,
it's like a white collar crime,
and now he's the main show now.
No fuck,
but it's him and Evan Roberts, who was the midday guy.
So we listened to Jim and Sam.
Scam. I wonder what like.
I don't remember the ins and outs. I know he wasn't
He's getting
like
free tickets for being like a sports guy and just like selling them for tons of money.
It was something to do with it was like a way for like I want to say maybe companies or something like that to buy like corporate seats.
Okay.
And then it turned like there were never any seats.
You're just standing there.
No, or like they would give like they could give out to like clients and shit.
Right. Okay.
And there were never any seats.
Clients get to the game, they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, exactly.
Ticket just scans,
like
comes up red.
So it was a bunch of other people, but they popped him for like some, and he was like it was because had a huge like gambling debt.
Oh yeah. Because when I came and saw you at Borgata that one time, you were like, I have to go fish him, or not you, but someone that was in there was like, I have to go down to the poker room and get him out before broadcast.
Yeah, he lost he was down like almost $1 million.
Holy shit!
He was down almost $1 million. Like he was like all high rollers. Like he was back up, but like he was like I think in the end he ended up losing like
couple $100,000.
Yeah.
Oh, that night. I thought you meant like career.
No,
like,
no. He was all fucking hard degenerate.
He was like a hardcore gambling addict.
One night
with high rollers money. So he like they would go down to AC for a show, like whatever, like a Monday show, and he would spend all night in the high rollers lounge playing like poker. And maybe like nap for an hour and then go on the show.
Well, because I just had a dealer,
and he would make like producers and shit go place bets for him while he was like
betting like $25K a hand or something ridiculous
during shows.
Yeah,
which I didn't really think about at the time, but like it's kind of fucked up. He's just like, Al, go put 50 on whatever
on black.
Yeah,
tell me how you make out.
Damn it! All right, we're out of video. We're gonna take a picture at the end of this from everything. I'm gonna take a screen cap or whatever. But okay, Mark.
Oh, it's done?
Yeah, we're done. We ran out of video. Mark, what do you want to plug? It would just end. This is it. This is it. We just ended.
You can keep rolling.
We can keep rolling. Yeah, if you want to. I'm gonna go pee though. If we're gonna go off.
I mean, I'm down to do like another 15 minutes.
Yeah,
if we're
whatever you guys want to do.
Wrap up like actually in a conversation.
Instead of like, all right, see ya.
Yeah, like it's done. Okay, bye.
That's how Joe normally actually edits it though. It'll be like mid sentence and it just cuts out. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, we do literally like 2 hours every time, and he posts like 45 minutes, and I'm like, what the fuck happened to all that shit that we did?
Like I mean, I assume you cut this. You know what, Joe? Don't cut this. Future Joe, don't cut this. Make sure this gets into the podcast.
Oh, it'll be in. There was one where we lost video very early on.
See if I can turn the mic and pick up his penis.
Just bring it in there.
You guys can keep talking.
Well, no, we were seeing if the mics would pick up your peeing. Are you still going?
Yeah.
We lost cameras really early on, so Joe just took footage of him just walking around Atlantic City and just used that as
like B-roll?
He just walked. Yeah, he just walked around AC with a GoPro on his head and just like.
But was it was it top down GoPro where his like head's all fucked up looking, or is it like?
No. I think he had like the
like
the chest
POV
mount or something.
You gotta be like
held it. Did you just hold the GoPro or what'd you do?
No, I had a
chest mount.
Like chest mounts on it.
No, you gotta be. He's like some British kid on TikTok, and he does train spotting. So he's some British kid, and he just goes to like, oh yeah, there's an 1817 whatever, and he names
Winchester,
the train
94.
Winchester 40. It's a beautiful train, and it comes by, and he I don't know. No, those pear taste like shit. No, and then he just waits for the train, and he comes by, and he has a GoPro, but he has it like angled at his face, so his head's all like.
It's that weird 3D camera thing. Yeah, that shit's weird.
Yeah, fine, sure. And then the train comes out, and he's the happiest. He's the happiest.
Do you have any like regular seltzers up here?
Not up here.
All right, I got water.
He's the happiest bloke though when that train comes by.
Does he start slamming heroin too?
No.
Damn.
He's dressed up very nice.
Wait, so what do you think of Report of the Week? Do you like that guy? Report of the Week? The guy.
What the fuck is that?
I've heard that sounds familiar, but I can't.
He's the kid that puts a suit on and reviews fast food. Yeah, like dude,
I wormholed him in like 2018 for like a week where all I watched was videos.
It's one of those things where
and then
you
you're like,
just,
what am I doing?
And then you're like, I've watched it was like that and like Dame Drops.
Well, he's the only reason
I
I
don't know
like
who that is.
He was like, he's just this big black dude, and he would like review like fast food, and damn, like
oh, I've seen. Damn. Yeah, I know that.
Now he's doing like they gave him a show. He got a show on Netflix, maybe, and like was just going to like these places, like great on camera. Like that's the thing. Like that, the whole like the character Dame Drops like was like meant to be. Like
yeah,
that's like early age of like content creation.
That's like somebody that should be like have a show.
Like
that
all
came
he
from
needs
YouTube.
is a chance, and the show is not bad because he was going to like just these like places that are just making insane food,
dude. Like,
and it was like I would just like so we would go like a cheap dive place, a normal place, and like fucking like a fuck you place.
Yeah,
and he would rate which one was best for like the best like burger or something like that.
Okay,
so good, and it was always like just you just sit there and you're like. I'll eat all of it.
Did you ever see the guy? He goes to like he'll go to like Thailand or something like that, and it's like this is like the high like the most expensive place that you can get like this dish, and then this is the cheapest place you can get this dish, and like he like gives like an honest review of both, but like he's really fucking funny because he'll always like undermine the top one and then overcompensate the like lower one so that it like evens out, but he like does it in a funny way. But then like sometimes he'll just completely undermine the low one. It's like I'm eating fucking shrimp in a gutter, like, and this is like, I forget the fucker's name, but he's so fucking funny. But yeah, he's got a GoPro on. He's like going to like noodle bars in like Japan and whatnot, and like it's like some guy's feeding him fish eyeballs. He's like, well, I mean, I don't normally go for this cuisine, but like it's not bad, and like the atmosphere was nice. And then he'll go to like the white plate place across the street, and he's like, well, I mean, they put the wrong fork out, and I really do prefer magnesium chopsticks.
What is this on?
It's some YouTube channel, like some guy that just does that. I don't know, one of those ones that when I was
There's
working,
a guy that does that in New York with like hotels and shit like that. He's like staying at the worst hotel
Kata.
like and just then he'll go to like a nice one. It's not food. He does all kinds of like going to the worst rated this, like just like
I like that.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's fun. He
Bankrupt
like found bed
does
bugs
that.
on the hotel and the one.
Does he also do like he did like the world's worst for like worst rated tattoo shop?
Yes.
All right, I know this.
I forget. I've only seen a few of his videos.
Is it a Vice show?
He might have got.
I
want to
say it might be a Vice thing, like a Vice show.
I think he has his own channel though, because the hotel one I think I just saw on
I know,
like a
like-
regular YouTube channel.
Because I remember that where it was like I'm going to the worst rated tattoo shop, and like the guy apparently actually wasn't that bad.
Really? Okay.
Like it wasn't good. Like he got a fucked up tattoo, but he
I
was
know,
like,
that's a different guy, but I have seen that.
but it's
That
like
is
yeah,
a
but he was
Vice
really
thing.
nice, and the place wasn't
The
bad.
and then the comments were just like roasting the
Of
fucking
course,
guy.
'cause
The
it was still a
tattoo
terrible
horrible.
tattoo.
It was so bad.
I wish we had
He
like
was a nice guy though.
Blacktooth Podcast, patreon.com/Blacktooth, Instagram Blacktooth Podcast. All right, Mark, your Mook Dubs, MTG on YouTube? Yeah.
No, not on YouTube. That's on everything else.
On everything else. All right, Mook Dubs on YouTube, Mook Dubs MTG.
I just said not on YouTube.
I'm just naming you, motherfucker.
With a Z or an S. I'm gonna look it up when I leave.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna give you a sub when I leave.
All right, thank you for listening. Go fuck yourself.
Thanks for coming on, man.